It's not up for debate in Massachusetts since the death penalty was declared unconstitutional in 1982, but discussions about capital punishment are taking place across the nation. Central to that dialogue is the execution of Dennis McGuire in Ohio. The convicted murderer was the first American inmate put to death using a new combination of lethal drugs. His family is now suing the state, calling the effects of the injection cruel and unusual.
My dad began gasping and struggling to breathe. I watched his stomach heave. I watched him try to sit up against the straps on the gurney. I watched him repeatedly clench his fist. It appeared to me he was fighting for his life but suffocating.
Dennis McGuire's attorney called the execution a failed experiment, but my next guest says he knew that would happen. Dr. David Wiesel, an associate professor of anesthesia at Harvard Medical School, warned a federal court in Ohio about the drugs. Welcome to Greater Boston. So, Doctor, you actually predicted this. What did you tell Ohio what was going to be the likely outcome if they used this combination of drugs?
Almost exactly what Mr. McGuire's son said, that he would start to suffocate, that he'd have trouble breathing, and that this would go on. The only thing I got wrong was I did not think it would go on for this long.
It was actually 25 minutes, and you thought it would be a few minutes.
Well, the accounts differ, and I wasn't there, but I thought it would be about 5 minutes.
Why did they change the combination of drugs?
This has been an ongoing thing for the last 5 or 8 years, where drugs they were using either stopped being made or were being restricted, so they couldn't get them anymore. They tried compounding, which had some problems with it. So Ohio, which has often been ahead of the curve in these matters, thought they'd go a different direction.
So when you advised them, did they not believe you? Did they dismiss you? Did they not care what the outcome would be?
So let's be real clear. I don't advise them. I was there.
You testified.
Yeah, right. Well, what they felt is really, I don't know. What they said was they believed the other experts' argument more than mine.
Is this something of a political discussion as well as a discussion about execution? I mean, is it that the methodology has become part of the political fray, largely for people who are against the death penalty?
This is completely a political discussion. The only reason I'm involved is because there are drugs that are used that I'm familiar with, and I can see what will happen with them. But the need to do this, the need to do it quickly, is wholly political.
Yeah. I mean, there are actually discussions now about going back to a different form of, talk about going back to firing squad. I don't think the electric chair will come back anytime soon, but firing squad, would that be more humane? This family is saying that he died a cruel and unusual punishment. We should say that he raped and murdered a young woman. There's no question about his guilt or innocence. He was guilty of doing that, but it's the question of what way he should die.
Well, it's more a question of what society do we want to be. We follow law here. We view ourselves as above things like vigilante. And so we have set a standard of, if we're going to execute people, here's a standard we need to meet. And we just can't break that. I get emails saying, well, what about Joy Stewart? I feel terrible for Joy Stewart. I can't imagine the horror.
Who's that now?
Joy Stewart was a young lady. She was 8 months pregnant.
Oh, yeah, the one who died. Yeah.
I feel horrible for her. I can't imagine what she and her family went through. But that doesn't mean that we do the same to the inmate.
Yeah, well, I won't share my opinions, but I'm nodding with you. Dr. Wiesel, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on that.